Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vehicle Addicts YouTube channel. I just wanted to do a real quick video on how to do a coolant flush here on the Ford 3.8 liter V6 for the Ford Mustang. I'm sure it might be similar for some other vehicles that have the 3.8 liter in there. I tried to look on YouTube and a couple forums on how to properly do this flush, but there isn't a whole lot of information out there, and I don't have any of the Ford service manuals, so I kind of had to figure this out by myself. So first things first, what I did is I pulled the overflow bottle out, and then I squirted degreaser in it, and then I just filled it full of hot water and got I have an assortment of scrub brushes, so I got whatever scrub brushes would fit in there. The bottle's kind of a weird shape, so I just scrubbed it the best I could, brought it back down, hit it with the pressure washer, and then I just kept repeating that process until I was satisfied with that. Next, going into the flush, either Ford is extremely special or I am, or potentially both. But the way to bleed the air off of the block is right here from this little fitting. But the thing about it is once the engine is hot, you can no longer pull it to get the air out. So really you can only use that on initial startup. So what I ended up doing is, of course, you have the heater on full blast. And what I found was the easiest to do is I just pulled these two bolts off and just pulled the thermostat out of the block. I found that to be way easier because when I was initially doing it and I would wait for the air to bleed, it would take almost 20 minutes to get all the air out. I also have one of these handy dandy deals you can get at Napa or any local auto parts store, really, and then it just sits right here on your radiator. Then you'll just fill it up, let her sit, and then you'll just watch all the air come out of it. So I was trying to do that, but yeah, it was taking like 20 minutes to get all the air out, and I'm like, man, this really isn't efficient, so I need to figure out a better way. So I pulled the thermostat out, and then really the air is bled off within like 2 to 5 minutes. So super easy to do it that way. So yeah, just pull your thermostat out, put everything back on, and then what I did is I would pull my upper radiator hose off and pull the lower hose off to drain it. Of course, I would wait till the block was cool because cold water plus hot block equals cracking, and that's not good. So I'd wait for the engine to cool, pull the upper and lower radiator hoses off, and then I'd take my garden hose and I would flush the engine out until it was coming out clean. And then I would also do the same thing to the radiator, where I would put the garden hose into the radiator and just flush it throughout to the bottom until it was coming out clean there. Then I'd throw it all back together, and I'd just repeat the same process. I'd continue to put flush in, heat the block up, pull it all apart, drain it all, wait till the block was cool, flush it out with water, rinse and repeat. So it took me quite a bit because this block and radiator were really filthy. I don't blame the lady that initially had it. She probably never knew that it needed to be changed or needed to be cleaned. You know, it's kind of one of those things that people don't really think about until your engine's overheating, you know. So I ended up using 3 bottles of Prestone, and then I used 1 Napa bottle and 1 other brand that I can't remember. And it actually came out pretty good. I wonder if I could get a good view in there. Still got a little bit up top here, but let's see if I can get in there with my light. It's not perfect. Oh, I guess that's in the way of the camera. It's not perfect, but I promise you it's significantly better than it was. So that's how I would do the flush if I were you. So make sure your heater is on hot and blasting, because if you don't have that on, you're not going to properly flush the entire system. Your whole heater core inside the car isn't going to get flushed when you do the engine. So make sure that's on full blast. And then when you replace your thermostat, make sure the bleeder is facing up, because all your air rises, of course. So that's kind of common sense, but in case, you know, maybe you just don't know and you're kind of confused, make sure the bleeder's facing up, air rises, you want it to escape. And then just make sure make sure when you're doing this, if you don't have that bottle and you don't want to buy it, to put on the radiator, to make sure when it's hot to not open it up, because you'll get hit with steam. So I don't want you guys to burn yourselves at all. And that's also why I pulled the thermostat out for this plug up top on the engine. You know, once it's hot, you can't pull it off because you're going to burn yourself. So just be really careful about that. So yeah, just quick summary. Just go back over everything. Pull your thermostat out. Put it back all together. Hit it with the flush. Make her hot. Heater on high. Pull your upper and lower radiator hoses out. Flush it with a garden hose or whatever water you got. And then flush the radiator. Same way. Put it all back together. Rinse, repeat. And then once you're done, make sure you properly flush it with some good 50-50 antifreeze. I know there's a lot of debate on whether to use distilled water or you can use normal water. Really, it's preferable that you get ionized water and not distilled, because distilled water can actually pull the minerals and stuff out of the block, because there's no mineralization in the distilled water. So you actually want to get deionized water, because then there's no ions that are negatively and positively charged pulling the material out of the block. But the easiest way is just to get pre-mixed antifreeze, because really getting deionized water is kind of a difficult thing around here anyway. So yeah, that's it for my quick video. That's how to do the flush on the 3.6 or 3.8 liter V6. Mine's 1998 Ford Mustang. I don't know if I went over that in the beginning of the video, but so yeah, hope this helped you guys. And if you got any other questions on how to do maintenance or anything related to that on working on cars, or how I might go around things, just let me know in the comments, and I'll let you know what I do when I work on them. So alrighty, have a good one, guys.